Most people think memory loss is just something that happens when you get older, but that's not the whole truth. After 40, your brain can still grow new connections and even get sharper if you know what to do. The problem is, most people either do nothing or focus on the wrong things, and that's when decline speeds up. The first thing to understand is what's actually going on in your brain at this age. Around your 40s, parts like the hippocampus, which is the area that handles memory, start to slowly shrink. The protective fatty coating around your nerve cells also starts wearing down. That coating helps signals travel quickly, so when it thins, thinking can feel a bit slower. But that doesn't mean your best days are over. Your brain still has something called neuroplasticity, which is the ability to rewire and make new pathways. Scientists actually call your 40s a critical window where the right habits can slow aging in the brain and sometimes even reverse certain changes. So the decisions you make now really do matter. One of the best things you can do is learn something completely new. Think of your brain like a muscle. If you don't use it in challenging ways, it weakens. But if you push it, it gets stronger. Learning to play a musical instrument, studying a new language, or even trying a completely different hobby forces your brain to build new connections between nerve cells. Scientists call this building brain reserve, and it's basically extra wiring your brain can fall back on if some pathways wear down later in life. People with more brain reserve are less likely to develop serious memory problems as they age, even if they have the same physical brain changes as someone who does. Now let's talk about movement. Exercise isn't just for your heart or your waistline. It's one of the most reliable ways to boost your brain. When you move, blood flow to your brain increases, delivering more oxygen and nutrients. It also triggers the release of special chemicals that help brain cells grow and connect more easily. Studies show regular aerobic exercise can actually increase gray matter in areas linked to memory and planning, like the prefrontal cortex and hippocampus. You don't have to start training for a marathon. Even a brisk 30-minute walk most days makes a real difference to how sharp you feel. If exercise is the daytime fuel for your brain, then sleep is the night shift crew. While you sleep, your brain does two critical jobs. First, it clears away waste products that build up while you're awake. Second, it processes and stores your memories. When you skip sleep, it's like leaving your house messy day after day. Eventually, it becomes harder to find what you need. Research shows that people who sleep less than 5 hours a night have almost double the risk of developing memory problems later on compared to those who get a solid 7 to 9 hours. It's not about sleeping in, it's about giving your brain the time it needs to do its essential housekeeping. What you eat also has a direct impact on how your brain works, and one nutrient stands out above the rest: omega-3 fatty acids. These healthy fats are found in oily fish like salmon and sardines, as well as walnuts, flax seeds, and chia seeds. Higher levels of omega-3 in your 40s are linked to a larger hippocampus and stronger reasoning skills. A review of multiple studies found that daily doses of about 2,000 milligrams improved memory, brain structure, and overall brain health in middle-aged and older adults. So if fish isn't already on your menu a couple of times a week, it's worth making space for it. It's also worth taking omega-3 supplements to make sure that you get the right dosage every day. I've linked a website that I personally use for all of my supplements and health products in the description below, so check that out to stay on top of your health. Your daily diet as a whole plays a big role in how alert and focused you feel. Leafy greens like spinach and kale contain nutrients that reduce inflammation and protect brain cells. Berries are full of antioxidants that help with memory. Mushrooms contain compounds that may lower the risk of mild cognitive impairment. Nuts give you healthy fats and vitamin E, which helps maintain the health of brain cell membranes. Even water matters more than most people think. Being even mildly dehydrated can slow thinking and make it harder to concentrate. On the flip side, diets high in sugar and processed foods can increase inflammation, which speeds up brain aging. Choosing foods that protect your brain is like investing in a retirement plan for your memory. There's also something surprisingly simple you can do that's often overlooked. Stay socially connected. Loneliness isn't just sad, it's harmful to your brain. People with strong friendships and active social lives are more likely to keep their memory and thinking skills intact into their 80s and beyond. Social interaction seems to protect the brain by lowering stress levels and keeping important neural circuits active. Meeting a friend for coffee or joining a club might feel like fun, and it is, but it's also one of the healthiest things you can do for your mind. It's also worth knowing the early warning signs that go beyond normal forgetfulness. Everyone misplaces their phone sometimes, but consistent patterns can be a sign of something more. Struggling to do tasks you've done for years, missing appointments regularly, losing items often, or repeating the same question in a short time are signals you should talk to a doctor. Writing down what's happening and when it started can help your doctor see the full picture. The sooner a problem is caught, the more options there are to treat it or slow it down. None of these habits works in isolation, but when you combine them, the effect is much stronger. And you don't have to change everything at once. Even small changes make a difference. Studies have found that older adults who made modest improvements, like exercising more, eating a diet similar to the Mediterranean or DASH plans, and doing mental training exercises, improved their thinking speed and planning skills. That means you can start small and still see real benefits. For example, you could swap your afternoon processed snack for a handful of nuts and berries. You could go for a quick walk after dinner instead of sitting down right away. You could set a bedtime reminder to make sure you're getting enough sleep. Or you could sign up for a class you've always wanted to take, even if it's completely out of your comfort zone. The bottom line is, your 40s don't have to be the start of decline. They can be the start of a stronger, sharper brain that will serve you well for decades. Your brain is still capable of growth and change, but it needs the right input. That means keeping it challenged, fueling it with the right foods, moving your body, giving it enough rest, staying connected with others, and being proactive about your health. If you treat your brain like the valuable, irreplaceable organ it is, you can keep your focus, memory, and clarity well into the future. And while there's no magic switch that guarantees perfect brain health, the habits you choose today will write the story of your mind tomorrow. So give your brain something to thank you for, because it's the one thing you really can't afford to lose. What is at least one change that you'll make to boost your brain health? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe while you're there.